Boyfriend Dungeon and Greak, Memories of Azur, are two very new Switch games. One is a combination of a dungeon crawler RPG and dating sim, and the other is a 2D action platformer with Metroidvania elements. Are these indie games both good? Let's begin with Boyfriend Dungeon. You create your character and head to the sunny shores of Verona Beach. There you meet up with your cousin, Jesse, who sets you up with a new place to stay along with trying to find you dates. Oh yeah, and these dates are people that can turn into weapons. From swords to brass knuckles, you'll date a lot and from a wide pool of cultures and genders. Dungeons in this game are called dunges, that's D-U-N-J, and are set up in a typical pop culture area such as malls and nightclubs. Within are your fears come to life, including VHS tapes with wings and crab-like corded phones. The graphics in these dungeons may be simple, along with the combat, but I absolutely love the design of these monsters. You move forward by diving into dungeons with your weapon/partners and build up their relationships. Once you max out their levels, then you can go on a date in the real world. Date weapons, dive and conquer dungeons, repeat. For as weird as Boyfriend Dungeon is, the gameplay loop is pretty simple, but in a satisfying way. The music, I should say, is a sensational mix of pop. It really caught me off guard of how much I liked it. I didn't like everything in the game though. Not all of the art gelled with me. There is voice acting in the game, but not much of it. And again, for a dungeon crawler, I could have used more pizzazz in battle. It was a unique experience, that's for sure, and I do think it was a good game, even if not everything hit the mark for me. Let's move on to Greak, Memories of Azur. This felt like a 2D Zelda game in that it embodied a classic fantasy. You begin as the titular Greak, who is off to save his sister Adara. For those that didn't play the demo or watch any trailers, the big gimmick of this game is controlling three characters at once: Greak, Adara, and Raydell. Reuniting with Adara makes it seem like the mechanic begins right away, but after you reunite with Adara in the beginning of the game, you black out and she's gone again, and it takes another couple hours to get her back, and even longer after that to get Raydell. Some may find this a bit misleading, taking forever to get to the core concept of controlling three characters at once, but I didn't really care. I actually enjoyed the game more when it was just Greak by himself. It kind of just got more complicated for me than it needed to be, which could have been solved with co-op, but this game does not have co-op of any kind. Anyway, getting back to the roots, the game, again, plays like an action platformer. Greak, for example, is armed with a sword and a crossbow. You can get new gear from shops and learn new moves by taking on quests in the hub town. It's simple and yet satisfying, just like my feelings on Boyfriend Dungeon. Two things really sold this game for me right from the start. The art, as if that wasn't already clear based on what you're watching right now, and the music. Both of these elements made it feel like an epic adventure, again, like something out of the Zelda series or even The Lord of the Rings. It's magical, truly. There are some downsides besides the separation of characters though. The inventory is absolutely atrocious. It makes the early Resident Evil games seem like they have infinite inventories. It can be expanded, but very marginally. This forces players to constantly backtrack to town to turn things in or to sell them. There is a way to fast travel, but only at designated warp points, and those are few and far between, plus they make you pay to fast travel. It's just a tedious game, and that is very unfortunate. Even though I have some decent gripes with the game, and those are just a few, I still absolutely loved it. But that's it for this double feature. Boyfriend Dungeon is more forgiving and a unique experience, but Greak is just a wonder to see and hear in motion. Overall, I do recommend both games, especially for Switch users out there. Did you like that video? If you did, please like, subscribe, and spread the good word of ReActionExaminer. If you want to read more of my stuff, you can find a plethora of my articles over at TheGamer and Game Rant. All of those links and more are in the show notes below. Thanks for watching!